Way down in this little corner here, just to be able to be seen. Oh, fix my.
Does it get like edited and stuff or not?
Only if you have like a major sneezing or cough attack.
Okay.
But we're rolling as though we're live.
It's weird to talk because you can hear.
You'll once we start talking, you'll forget about it.
Just forget. Okay.
Yeah, like within like a minute.
Okay.
You'll be like whatever.
All right.
And you can adjust your headphone volume. It's the blue one if you need to at any time. So.
But you really need to hear because you need to hear when we're going to go to break.
Yeah.
You need to hear when the music starts. When
It's
it
a good volume.
Yeah. Okay.
Alrighty, ready?
We are ready.
Woohoo! All right, here we go.
Yay! Powerful women.
Good afternoon, and welcome to WATD's Powerful Women Revealed. You're invited to enjoy an ongoing series of uplifting, educational, and intimate discussions with local powerful women that have all made the commitment to take their businesses and organizations to a higher level. These entrepreneurs have turned their dreams into reality. They work hard, outshine, and they mean business. These women reveal and share their inspirations, milestones, and successes with your host, Nicole Perry.
Good afternoon and welcome to Powerful Women Revealed. I'm your host, Nicole Perry, and today we're talking one of my favorite subjects, money. My guest today is a certified public accountant with Meridian Financial Services. She has over 18 years experience in the financial industry, and her new office is located right in the Pine Hills at 3 Village Green North. Mary Hirtle, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. And now you are a Plymouth native?
I moved to Plymouth about 12 years ago.
Okay. Where did you come from before that? Where did you live?
Before I was living in Walpole.
Okay.
And my husband's originally from the South Shore, and we were visiting one day, and we said, geez, why don't we live down here?
Yeah.
It's so beautiful in Plymouth.
Yeah.
So we made the decision to move and love it.
Yeah, we do too. We actually, we met in North Carolina. And when we were searching for places back in 1999, we were like, Plymouth, let's live in Plymouth.
Yeah.
So I love it too. Now, what made you decide to branch out and actually open an office versus just being a sole entrepreneur?
You know, I was working out of the house after I left corporate America. I picked up just a couple of clients working out of the home just to stay busy. And when I made the decision to really expand, it happened so quickly. I recognized that I needed employees and I needed a place for people to come and meet me that wasn't my home.
Yeah.
You know.
So why did it happen so fast?
I think it's just the network that I'm connected to.
Yeah.
Just having those relationships with people and saying, geez, I want to start doing, it started off with the consulting work for accounting. And immediately, the next day, the day I made the decision, the next day I was put in contact with a venture capital company and immediately had 2 clients that were startup companies and recognized right away that the business was just going to grow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, was there anything scary about opening up in the Pine Hills? Is it a little intimidating?
It was scary to get an office, right?
Yeah, just in general, right?
Just, all of a sudden now you're going to have these additional expenses that you weren't used to having before. Overhead, the rent, the utilities, employees. Definitely was scary.
And you renovated it.
I did. We did.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we just finished renovating it to build out another office, and that was the scary part. It wasn't scary to pick the Pine Hills and to actually go there.
Because you live here, you're there all the time.
Yeah, and it's such a warm and welcoming community, and I love that it has a parking lot as opposed to, I was looking at places downtown where it would have just been more of a challenge for people to get to.
Yeah.
But it was scary in the fact you're taking a leap and committing to spending dollars.
But that's okay. You're
It's
so
okay.
confident.
Yeah.
You are so confident. You crack me up. I wish I could share some of the conversations we've had. Now, why are you so confident?
I think it's just because I know that I do a good job and I know that my clients are happy. My responsiveness to clients' needs is what sets me apart. And I know every time I talk to someone, they're happy. They
Yeah.
feel like they're being taken care of.
Yeah.
And that just increases my level of confidence to do a good job.
So what is it that you're excelling in? How are you able to crush your competition? Shall I dare say the word
I know,
crush?
right? I really do think it's the responsiveness time. There's so many people that say to me, I have this issue, and my last CPA hasn't really gotten back to me. It's been since April or May.
Sometimes they don't contact you for a whole year.
Yeah, I think a lot of CPAs drop off after April 15th.
Why?
It's just tax season's over, so they just kind of
Get it back into the regular groove of
Yeah.
the business and
Right.
handle only the things that are really emergency type stuff.
Exactly. Whereas we're around 12 months out of the year because we don't just do taxes. There's other, there's the accounting, there's the bookkeeping, there's the financial planning. So we're always around, and I think that people are surprised when they come in and say, I need help with this. I say, oh, sit down. We'll do it right now. And they're shocked that it's just taken care of within, 10 minutes or however quickly the IRS will answer the phone call.
Now, I wasn't going to say this, but just popped into my head. I love these two statements that you have said to me in the past where
Yeah.
I've handed you a form from like the IRS.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what do I do about this? And you're like, that's bogus. Throw it away.
Yeah. Exactly.
If they wanted to contact you, they would do it in a different way.
They would, right. They're not going to call you. They're going to send you a letter. And it's interesting.
But it was a letter, I think.
No, it was a call. It was
Oh, it was
bogus.
that's right. It was a phone call.
Yeah.
And then another time I handed you a piece of paper and you said, oh, I already took care of that.
Yes.
Oh my God. I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah. And
I don't know how you're doing it.
and that's the reaction that I get out of people, which makes me feel confident that
Yeah.
I'm doing a good job.
Yeah. Now, I used to have, I'm going to be giving you my bookkeeping services, and I used to have it under two separate roofs, the CPA and the bookkeeping. There's a misconception about having it all under one roof. So when you have it separate, you have more eyes. What do you feel about that?
So the way I operate my business is that I do have more than one set of eyes on your books. So I have bookkeepers that'll help record the transactions, and then I sit down with them at the end of the month and review the books from that other level. So you are still getting the two eyes on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or two sets of eyes.
You are.
Okay. Well, I definitely feel safe with all of my. So it's accounting, CPA, or accounting is the overall umbrella.
Yes.
And explain to me, what is a controller?
A controller is someone who manages the day-to-day activities of a company. So when you think about a corporation, think about a larger company. So one arm of my business is to be a part-time controller, a part-time CFO of these startup companies. You handle the soup to nuts every day of the company.
Wow.
So that can be something as small as entering in a bill and paying the bills, or working with unemployment claims with the state for any employees that were terminated, all the way up to cash forecasting, all the way up to board preparation slides. It really encompasses a soup to nuts financial situation for companies.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I love it when you said to me that you can come in and do a controller's job in half the time.
Half the
almost?
time, yeah.
How are you so fast?
I don't know. And I noticed that when I transition out, when companies grow and become to the point where they need a full-time controller or a full-time director of finance
Yeah.
in-house, they always say to me, you're going very quickly. You're going very fast. Can we slow down?
Wow.
I just feel as though my brain is wired to be an accountant.
Yeah, so you've always done numbers. Have you ever done anything
Always.
else?
No. As a child, I wanted to be an accountant.
Really?
Yeah, I remember I made up business names as a child, and I would sit at my parents' typewriter and type up office supply order forms and calculate out how much it would cost and add the sales tax. I mean, it was...
That is hilarious.
Yeah,
That it's just in your genes.
It is.
Wow,
It is.
that's
yeah.
amazing. Okay, now, do you ever see yourself, obviously, doing anything else?
I actually don't.
That was a stupid question that I have written down there. Why am I even asking it?
You know, when I think about would I ever want to do something else, yeah, I would love to, paint and do something artistic.
Oh,
but in
okay.
terms of business and actually
Yeah.
having a career, this is what I've always wanted to do, and this is what I was born to do.
Okay, now, you wanted to mention something earlier before we started recording about, I don't even remember, about my own 60-40. The 60-40.
Yeah.
What is the 60-40 when it comes to you're being paid yourself?
Right. So because you have an S corp, right, which is a different situation than a sole proprietor or an LLC.
Yes.
You have this S corp. You want to ensure that you're taking a reasonable salary.
Yes.
The IRS doesn't tell you what a reasonable salary is. So we like to follow this 60-40 rule, where 60% of your earnings, it comes into you in the form of salary, so that you're paying FICA and Medicare tax.
Yep.
And then 40%.
Social Security.
Social Security.
Everything,
Yes.
yep.
And then 40% will come through as ordinary income. You want to really be sure you don't pull in more ordinary income than you do that's been run through payroll.
Okay. And if we have, you need to balance that off of expenses.
Yes, right. Well, right. You're talking about your net income here. So this is why it's so important this time of year to look at your books and say, how much have you earned in your net income? How much have you pulled in salary? And how much have you taken in owner's withdrawals?
Now, I know I have to give you my stuff, my papers, but I was like, oh, I got till April. I think I'll just do it in February.
No.
Why do I have to do it before? All of a sudden, I've discovered a few minutes ago that I have to do it by December 31st.
Yes.
Why is that important?
Because our tax year is December 31st. So you only have from January through December to ensure that your books are closed and you have this 60-40 situation. You can't take care of it in February and pull more salary because the tax year's closed.
Okay, so I'm not worried about pulling more salary, but I just figured in February I can go look and just decide where everything was and show what it was for. But no, you have to do that before the 31st.
Right, you have to do it before the end of the year. Most situations you have to take care of by December 31st for your taxes.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope you'll stay with us. My guest is Mary Hirtle. She's a CPA with MeridianFinancialService.com is where you can find all of her information. You're listening to Powerful Women Revealed right here on 95.9 WATD. Listening to Powerful Women Revealed with powerful Gwen Stefani singing in the background. I just found out that she's a new girlfriend of Blake.
Yes.
The Voice last night. I was Googling frantically. I'm like, I've been asleep at the switch. I didn't even know.
Yep.
Anyway, love that, Gwen. I wish I could be a rich girl like her.
Don't we all?
So we all know that we're not going to be rich.
Mm-hmm.
But there are ways to put more money in our pocket when it comes to doing our taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of those ways? Are we all utilizing all the ways?
You know, I think it's based on the individual. I always want to say that it's so important to save. So
See, yeah, that word. I don't ever save anything.
Yeah, and you even if it's just $50 a week, you want to save your money because it's so important to plan for your retirement.
I know.
Yeah.
My husband always says I'll just make more money.
But how
And
are
he
you?
does.
But
so I don't know how to fight that argument.
Well, how's that argument going to work when you're 70 years old?
I know.
That's the piece of it. You really want to, even if it's just $50 a month, anything helps to save in a tax-deferred account. In theory, when you're older, you'll be in a lower income tax bracket, and those tax-deferred savings is a way to save later on in life.
See, now I always used my tax return as my savings. I'm like, woohoo, we got money.
I think it's funny. One of the most common things I say to taxpayers when they say to me, I owe or I'm getting a refund, I actually say to them, can you actually tell me how much money you paid in taxes? And they'll say, oh, I paid $1,000. I said, no, you didn't. You need to actually know the amount of money you're paying in taxes. You might owe $1,000, but maybe you paid $25,000 for the year.
Why do we need to know how much we've paid?
I think everyone needs to be knowledgeable about the amount of tax dollars that they're spending.
Yeah.
If you rely on your refund as your tax savings, you're in control of that. You can just claim single zero on your W-2 and get a bigger refund, right? In theory.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. So
I don't think we do that anymore.
But why would you give the IRS your money on an interest-free loan?
I know.
You know, you want to try to get it as close to zero as possible, but a lot of people...
Well, we didn't learn. We just didn't learn.
Yeah.
We didn't know any better, and frankly, we were just so busy having children, and we just didn't...
Yeah.
Not that we didn't care, because we care about our money. We care about being smart and making smart decisions, but it just wasn't a priority.
But you know what? Look at it this way. I think people want to feel like they're taking care of themselves, right? They want to feel like their financial situation is under control. Have you ever sat down with someone and said, I want to retire when I'm 65 and I want this much money to live on? How long is it going to last me? And what do I need to do today to save to be there? Imagine just taking an hour or two out of your day today to know that information, then to work with a tax person who is close to that financial planner that you just talked to, and really feel like you're all set. Like, imagine having a plan to say, geez, I need to save $1,000 a month right now in order to live comfortably for the rest of my life.
Yeah, so actually having you as a CPA, I feel safe, but I would feel so relieved if I had some stability.
Yeah.
Or not even stability,
It's
just
knowledge.
Knowledge.
It's knowledge. And
Knowledge is power. I say it at the end of every show.
It's so true. And I had someone the other day call, and we were talking. He's a client of mine for taxes, and he had said, geez, I think I want to retire when I'm 62. And I said, well, did you figure this out yet? Do you know how much you need to save now? He said, well, I have a couple $100,000 in my 401k. Well, what does that mean?
I know.
Do you know if you're going to have enough? What do your expenses look like? There's a whole financial plan that goes into it, and I think it is so worth it for you to take 2 hours.
I know. And you know what the other reason why I feel like I not look at all of that stuff is because I don't want to live in fear. So really, when you're thinking about when you're going to die and when you're going to retire and when you're going to be too old to work and you physically can't work anymore, it's like you're maybe living in, I don't want to live in fear and be worried about all of that.
Oh, sure. But what about having a will? It's the same thing.
know.
You have to think about death. And however, doing it now and planning for things
know.
like that, that's the
When
best
you're in the
way.
right mind.
Yeah, just plan for it now. You don't want to deal with it when it's too late. You don't want to be 70 years old and say, I don't have enough money to live.
And oh no, what am I going to do?
Right.
And my car doesn't work and
Right.
blah, 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 blah. All these things happen.
Right. I think we all need to face our fears and just take the time, take the couple of hours now and plan.
Yeah. Now she just sang in her song, "My cash flow will never end." Ooh, that sounds good, right? So, how do I manage my cash flow in a better way?
You need to plan.
Save. It's planning and saving.
It's planning and saving. You have got to save. And again, even if it's just $50 a week, even if it's anything, for people who work with a company-sponsored retirement savings account, 401k, 403b, I can't encourage them enough to put their dollars away, especially if the company's matching.
Oh.
That's free money.
Oh.
It's free money.
Okay. It's free money.
Self-employed individuals, I mean, you should look into having a SEP IRA.
Okay.
Saving, planning, and saving.
Why are you so passionate about this?
I recognized, I've always been passionate about accounting. I just love it.
Yeah, from the kid, from typing up with the typewriter. Yeah.
Right. I recall when I first started helping someone out, she owned rental properties, and she had multiple rental properties, and each property was in its own trust.
Okay.
Collected rent, which was great. And
So she was organized.
She's organized. Yep. I started doing her books for her, and I remember saying to her, she put on a new roof to the rental property, and when you talk about your profit and loss, right? Everyone understands the profit and loss. You make money, you spend money, you have a net income. That's
Yes.
pretty much the easiest thing that people understand.
Yep.
So she's looking for this $10,000 on her profit and loss, and I said, "What are you talking? It's not. It increases the basis of your asset. It's on your balance sheet." And she looked at me like, "What are you talking about? I don't understand."
And I completely do not understand what you just said because it went right over my head.
Yep. And that was my aha moment where I said, you know what? I bet you there's so many small business owners out there who don't understand their financial statements. There's not just a profit and loss. It's profit and loss, balance sheet, and a cash flow statement.
Yeah.
And the fact that her $10,000 does not come off of her net income, she didn't understand that. So that's when I realized it's so important for business owners to really have an understanding of their financial statements. And I found that with a lot of bookkeepers, they don't have that knowledge base. I'm not saying all, okay?
Yeah.
But there are some bookkeepers out there that don't understand the balance sheet.
So it's all about your overall books.
Yes,
Your
overall.
your balance sheet is the overall everything about your books.
Well, the balance sheet actually tells you a story about your business from the time of inception. But there's 3 financial statements.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm excited and scared.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
I'm excited to know what's out there for me
Yeah.
or what I've been doing and if I've
Yeah.
been doing it right. And but I'm also scared.
No, don't be scared. There's nothing to be scared of.
Now, we only have a little bit of time before we go to break. What is a most common mistake that we make with bookkeeping when we don't outsource the services, when we try to do it ourselves?
You're not properly classifying your assets and your liabilities, which is something we just talked about.
Proper categories.
Right. And in addition, if you're not balancing your bank statements, then you're missing deductions that'll reduce your tax liability.
Okay. All right. Well, we got to go to break. I hope you'll stay with us. My guest is Mary Hirtle. She's a CPA with MeridianFinancialService.com. And you're listening to Powerful Women Revealed right here on 95.9 WATD. Listening to Powerful Women Revealed. What a really cool song that is, right?
It's great.
Anyway, that was, who was that? Grace Potter and something else, and the song is Money. Now, I want to ask you a question about taxes. Have you ever made a tax mistake, or do you have a story you could share?
Yeah. Luckily, I have not, but I'm
Personally?
Right. But mistakes do happen.
I don't know if we've ever made a tax mistake. Actually, I don't know if we know. How do we know?
You'll eventually get a letter from the IRS if you ever did.
Well, we've
but-
never been audited, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But having a tax mistake and being audited can be two separate things.
They are two different things, yes.
Okay.
So what happened most recently is I was actually at the John Carver Inn at the pool.
Yeah.
And I met some of my friends there, and my friend brought her friend with her. And she said, "Oh, you do taxes? I just got this letter from the IRS saying we didn't file our return. But yet I have the return. I paid the tax preparer. I'm not sure what's happening." And I said,
Electronic, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was electronic filing. So I said, no problem, I'll look into it. I called the IRS, and their tax preparer never verified that the e-filing was accepted. So the e-file got kicked back and needed to be corrected in order for it to be resubmitted. So
their CPA never followed up.
never followed up.
Oh my God.
Right, right. And my software.
Let's not mention who they are.
No. But it was such an easy fix, and I did say to her, "Look, you can just let your CPA know. I mean, they already have the return. They can just go push the button." And she said, "No, we're not doing this." They were really upset by it. So
Yeah.
that's all I did.
Well, that is very upsetting.
It is.
Because it's trust.
It is trust.
And we're giving you all of our numbers and
Yeah.
all of our stuff, and we're saying, make sure you take care of us.
Yeah, and they paid for it.
And they pay. Oh, and they paid for. Yes, we're paying for it. Oh my God. So, do you have any other interesting stories that we can relate to as taxpayers?
Yeah, I think, and you touched on it before, talking about the fear. There was one of the most common things I see is when people come into my office. In particular, I have one person in my head that I'm thinking about. He came in and sat down, was visibly shaking, had anxiety. I mean, sweating, just so upset about a letter from the IRS.
Oh no.
And I think people's first reaction.
It is very, very uncomfortable.
It is, yeah. And I said to him, "It's okay. Everything's going to be okay. We will take care of this." And we did.
And you're so calm.
Yeah, and he, but I think I'm calm because I work with it all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas for anyone else, if they get a notice, they get really scared and they don't know what to do. And sometimes people don't even reply; they just ignore it because they don't know what to do. So I find that seems to be a common thread.
That would be me.
Right,
Not even
like-
replying.
Yeah.
You know what? I have a Mary folder, Mary
Yeah.
CPA, and I just stick everything in the folder.
That's great.
And I didn't even bring it with me
Oh,
today.
jeez, that's all right.
But that's the fear part.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But just, you can work, I'll work with you and take that away. Take the fear away. Take the mystery away.
Oh my God, the mystery.
Yeah.
It feels so good.
Yeah.
Because when you have those answers.
Yeah.
And you know that you're all set. It's all we want to know.
Right.
I know. Oh my gosh. So what are the if we're not able to save money, okay, the goal is $25 a month, $50 a
anything.
month, anything. But if we're not able to save, what are the best ways to not give it away when we're doing our taxes?
Okay. So I do want to repeat, it's so important to save. I think that is the most important thing, is to save and plan for your future. But if you're not able to, you want to look at your current portfolio. There could be potentially some capital losses in there that you can sell off. Again, has to be done prior to year end. This is all part of the planning. If you had any capital gains during the year, and you can now sell these losses off to reduce your taxable liability. Another easy way to do it is through charity. Any kind of clothing donations or
do that.
household items, that's another way to save on your taxes if you...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how much can you claim, though? You can't only claim like $300 or something,
No,
right?
this is such a misconception. As long as you have proper documentation, you can claim whatever you...
Give away.
Sure.
Oh.
Sure. But I have people say to me, "Oh, just put down the max." And I say, there is no max. What did you give to charity?
See, I thought there was a maximum.
No. Well, I mean...
that you don't get flagged.
Well...
Yeah.
If you have a deduction that doesn't make sense with your income,
Oh,
that
obviously.
right. But again,
Okay.
honesty and other factors can come into play. Other limitations can come into play for other situations. However, if you're just talking about, donating clothing or household goods or money to your church or something, if you only earn $10,000 a year and you give away $10,000 to charity, sure, that's a flag because you're giving away 100% of your income.
Yes, obviously that's not going to happen.
And and the IRS has tables that they say what's reasonable, a reasonable estimation for people to give away. However, if you're honest about it, you have nothing to fear.
There you go.
Just be honest and have documentation.
And have the so I have a slip from Big Brother, Big Sister right now, and I've written nothing on it.
So you'd have to know what you gave them, and then there's ways that we can determine what the taxable deduction is on that.
I know. So technically, I know the date that they came to the house, and I know it was about 8 to 10 boxes of clothes and toys and books.
So technically, you're supposed to know you gave away
10 books.
10 books, 5 pairs of pants. Yes. Yes, you need to keep good records.
Okay.
If it's over $250, you need to have really good records and documentation from the charity that gave you.
That we gave the stuff to.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I will want to use that as under $250 so that it doesn't flag anything.
No, it's not.
And then fix it the next time.
Let me repeat. Like, it's not. There's no flag from $250. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you want to be as honest as possible.
Yeah.
If you donate, 80%, 90% of your income to charity, that's a flag.
Yeah.
But I think what we're originally talking about here is what are the best ways to save on your tax return if you're not able to save any money.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if you look around your house and you see what you can donate, or maybe you have a car that you can donate or something,
it's another
that's
way.
the way to reduce your tax liability.
Okay. All right. See, I just figured being honest was saying that it was clothes, books, and toys, but you really have to be more specific.
You do.
Okay. All right. And are there any other, so December 31st, getting that done, April 15th, are there any other times of year that are important to sort of milestones to look and make sure that you're on track?
Well, I think every month of the year it's important for small business owners to always have a handle on where their business is at, which is why I think it's so important to keep up with your bookkeeping every single month. I mean, if I were to ask you today as a small business owner, what's your gross income for the year, you should know that off the top of your head.
Yeah, I don't know that. And I haven't done my bookkeeping for over 6 months.
And
I'm sure there are people screaming at the radio right now saying, me too, me too.
Right. Yeah. No, it's it's so important. I think a responsibility of small business owners is to understand their business.
Yeah.
And, if your business is radio, you're not a bookkeeper. Right?
I know.
That's why you hire somebody.
It was one of the first things I ever outsourced.
Yes.
Was bookkeeping, and then, it was CPA first.
Yes.
and then bookkeeping, because it's CPA at a certain point. One year we were like the 2 days before April 15th, and it still wasn't done.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my God, the reason it's not done is because we would rather die than dive into all this paperwork because we don't know it.
Exactly. And I've had people give me shoe boxes of receipts. I mean, multiple shoe boxes just filled with receipts to make sense of it. And we can make sense of that. So don't fear.
How do you do that so quickly? You just do it. You just
do it.
you just know it so well.
Yeah.
And what else can you, with your taxes, what else can you deduct as far as children? Because your kids, you want to be able to.
Well, yeah. If you have your dependents, you can deduct
preschool. Like what?
There are dependent care that you can deduct. There's up to $5,000 of pre-tax dollars you can do with your employer. But the credits for children for your daycare and your child care, those exist. There's also obviously the dependency exemptions that you can take for your children. Any college-age children, children in college, there's credits there that are potentials.
Okay. All right. Well, we got to go to another break. I hope you'll stay with us. My guest is Mary Hirtle. She's a CPA with MeridianFinancialService.com. You're listening to Powerful Women Revealed right here on 95.9 WATD. are back. You're listening to Powerful Women Revealed. What a great song. I love
Yeah,
ABBA.
they're great.
See, now that's what I was doing when I was a young kid and you were in front of the typewriter.
Right.
I was listening with headphones to ABBA.
Oh, that's great.
So, obviously, a man is not a plan. So what can we do to maximize the money we receive and lessen the whole tax burden?
So the best thing you can do is put your money in tax deferred accounts. Maximize your company savings plans, the 401ks and the 403bs that I mentioned before. Put as much away as you can into tax deferred IRAs.
Okay.
Anything tax deferred is the
Tax
best way
deferred.
to plan. Yeah.
And tax deferred just means that when you put the money there, you don't have to pay taxes on it while it's sitting there?
It means that the dollars grow tax-free until you pull them out when you're older.
What does that mean, the dollars grow tax-free?
So you would invest your dollars, right? So let's say you save $50 and you invest it in some kind of mutual fund, and that grows in 30 years to be $500. The growth on that, right, you pay taxes on it when you pull it out.
Okay, when you take the money. Okay. And what is the biggest misconception about taxes?
I think the biggest misconception is in regards to extensions. I mean, people will say, I need to file an extension, and they don't realize that they have to pay when they file their extension. Just because you file extension doesn't mean you extended time to pay. It means you just extended your time to file.
Oh.
So you still have to pay.
Okay, but how do you know what to pay if you haven't done the taxes because you're extending it?
Because you work with your CPA to say, this is the estimates of what I think happened, and then we'll calculate it out based on last year's return and on the documentation that you do have in hand. We can
Okay.
calculate out a best estimate.
Okay. All right. And what do you believe is the most important thing to remember when you own your own business? So and is S Corp the best way for me to be?
For you personally, it is.
Okay.
But it's different for every single person. For your situation, it is the best. And that is the best advice I've ever given to someone, Nicole, who is a small business owner, was to incorporate.
Really?
Yeah, because...
Why? Why is it important? Because I know why I did it.
Yep, because you want to avoid the self-employment tax.
Oh, that's not why I did it.
Why'd you do it?
I did it because I thought taking out insurance for my business so that I wouldn't be sued, the insurance was really much higher than having an S Corp. And I understood at the time when I did it that having an S Corp, people can't come after you personally. Is that true?
It is true, and you can also have a limited liability company, which also limits your liabilities, or an LLC.
Okay.
Yeah. With an LLC, though, you do pay the self-employment taxes. So if you incorporate, I had a client come in, and he asked me if I was accepting new clients. I looked at his tax return, and I said, I can see a $15,000 savings right here, just by incorporating.
Just by incorporating. And I know it stinks to pay that corporation tax every year.
Right?
But again, I thought that the corporation tax was smaller than paying for insurance.
Right. The corporation tax, the minimum $456 in the state
Yes.
of Massachusetts, yeah, that is much smaller than self-employment taxes. In terms of insurance, it all depends on what kind of insurance policy you got and what kind of insurance limits that you have. And so it varies for everybody. Insurance
Okay.
isn't the same for everybody.
Okay. And who inspires you? But beyond family and friends
Yeah.
and all of that, obviously your husband inspires you,
Yeah.
your kids,
Yeah. Yeah, and then you can also say like former mentors and bosses and things like that. But if I were to think about someone that everyone knows, if you think about a famous name, I have so much admiration and respect for J.K. Rowling. The author of the Harry Potter books.
Yes.
I love her story. I love that she was living on governmental assistance and just really poor and has these children she needs to take care of, and was living just really a destitute life and created these stories for them. And one of her quotes begins with, "Impossible to live without failing at something." And I really find that to be so interesting, that she never gave up hope and found a way to get through.
Wow. I did not know her story.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Well, we listen to the movies and we read the books and stuff, and I knew it was a woman, which is great.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we go?
I think the most important thing I want to say is it's so important to plan. I
Yeah.
can't say that enough. I know I've said it
Save.
over and over again.
Save and plan,
Save and plan. And when you're saving and planning and working with a team of people who are taking care of you financially, the fear goes away.
The fear goes away.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, it's relief. It's off your shoulders.
Yeah.
There's no more burden.
You want to
Okay.
feel like you're taking care of yourself, and I can help you do that.
And you want to feel more in control. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here
Thanks for
today.
having me.
You are
This is
awesome.
great. Thanks.
I know. This is going to be really great. Hopefully, we're educating lots of people
Yeah.
today. So you can find Mary Hirtle at meridianfinancialservice.com. Her office is right in the Pine Hills at 3 Village Green North. And hopefully you will tune in next time. This is Nicole Perry with Powerful Women Revealed. I want to thank you so much for watching Powerful Women Revealed. Every powerful woman who has discovered her life purpose deserves to be heard. And my mission is to connect these powerful women to you in a fun, entertaining, and educational way. From the moment I met Mary Hirtle, I absolutely loved her energy. We connected right away, and I immediately gave her all of my accounting and bookkeeping files to manage. I was beyond impressed with Mary's passion to help me get my situation under control, her extremely fast response times, and how she grabs answers to my questions so easily and with a great big smile. At Powerful Women Revealed, we are strengthening who we are together, empowering women of all ages to follow their dreams, and we are bringing a spark of inspiration to the career women of our future. I am so proud to promote women in business such as Mary Hirtle with Meridian Financial Service along with her husband Mark. I hope you will tune in next time. Until then, I'm your host Nicole Perry, and I want to thank you for watching Powerful Women Revealed.